Hello students, in this video we are going to solve the problems of exercise 5.1 and we have already made two videos where we have solved from question number 1 to question number 13 in one video, and in other video we have solved from 14 to question number 20. So in this video we are going to solve the remaining problems from question number 21 to question number 34. Question number 21, in this video we are going to solve from question number 21 to question number 34. So now let's start. So this is question number 21. Discuss the continuity of the following functions. So these are the functions we need to check continuity. Now you see, we know that so let me solve this one. So we know sin x and f of x, sorry, not f of x, cos x, sin x and cos x are always continuous. In each point of their domain. So we have already discussed these things in the intro video, in the first video of this chapter. So sin x and cos x both are continuous. Now you see, if two functions, suppose one is gx, another is px, if these two are continuous, then their sum and their difference and their product is also continuous. Their product is also continuous. So remember that. So here we need to write, if two functions are continuous, then their sum, difference and product are also continuous. Thus, so here the first function, that is a f of x, sorry, here sin x plus cos x, sin x plus cos x is continuous. B, we know sum is continuous. If two functions are continuous, then their sum is also continuous. Their sum is also continuous. So sin x plus cos x is continuous, and their difference is also continuous. We know difference is also continuous and product also continuous. So sin x minus cos x is also continuous, and C, in C we have product of these two functions, sin x into cos x. This is also continuous. That's it. Now let me show you how to solve question number 22. Discuss the continuity of cosine, cosecant, secant and cotangent functions. So here we need to discuss the continuity of those functions given here. So we know that cosine is always continuous, cos is always continuous at each point of its domain. Okay, so although we can show this one as well. So suppose here this function is cosine function f of x, cos x is always continuous at each point of its domain, its domain. R. So domain of cosine function is R, real number, that means a set of all real numbers. So we can show, if we are able to show this one, limit of f of x, limit x tends to c, f of x is equal to f of c, then we can say that function f of x is continuous. So let me show this this way, that cos x is continuous here. So limit f of x, x tends to c, suppose let c be a real number, c belongs to R, okay, so that's going to be equal to limit x tends to c cos x. So let us put x is equal to c plus h, so that, so if you put x is equal to c plus h, then what will happen when in this case what will happen, x tends to c when h tends to 0. So if you consider x is equal to c plus h, then it is obvious that when h tends to 0, then x tends to c, okay. So now replace the x by x c plus h. So here we can write limit cos c plus h, instead of x tends to c, we know when x tends to h tends to 0, x tends to c, that's why we can write, instead of x tends to c, we can write h tends to 0. Now let us apply here, in this case let us apply cos c plus cos d formula, or cos a plus b formula. So that's equal to limit h tends to 0 cos c cos h plus, instead of plus there will be minus now, sin c sin h. So here now you can replace the h by 0. So doing so, what we will get, cos c cos 0 minus sin 0 sin c. So then what will happen, we know cos 0 1, cos 0 is 1, so cos c into 1, that will be cos c, and we know sin 0 is 0, sin 0 is 0, 0 into anything is 0, that's why it will be 0, that's going to be cos c. So here you see, if f of x is equal to cos of x, then definitely f of c, so let me scroll down the page, okay, and f of c will be equal to cos c. So here you see, here we have got, since limit cos x tends to c is equal to f of c, in both cases we have got cos c, here also we have got a result cos c, okay, that's why therefore cos x is continuous. At x is equal to c, where c belongs to R. So hope you have understood this. Now let me show you our next function. What is the next function after cos? What is given here? This is cosecant. Cosecant is continuous or not? Let me examine this. Now let us consider f of x is equal to cosec x. So, we know cosec x is equal to 1 by sin x. Okay. So, here you see, as we have got the denominator as sin x, so sin x cannot be equal to 0. Here f of x is not defined, it will be infinity, or it is not finite, or you can say not it is infinity if sin x is equal to 0. Okay, and sin x equal to 0, it implies x is equal to n pi, where n belongs to z, because at those points of x sin x is equal to 0. So, that means this function cosec x will be continuous other than these points, x is equal to n pi. So, therefore, because sine is always continuous, isn't it? But here we are getting the sine as denominator. So, sin x cannot be 0 in this case. So, that is why excluding those points where sin x is 0. So, at all the points cosec x is continuous. So, where so here we can write, so what we can write here, therefore, we can write that this function f of x, here you can write cosec x. Cosec x is continuous on the domain, you can write on the domain r minus n minus pi. So, this is the domain. So, where n belongs to z. So, here you can see this is how we can check the continuity of cosecant. Cosecant means cosec x here. Now, let us check the continuity of second function, secant. Okay. So, here also let us consider f of x is equal to sec x, sec of x. So, we know it can be written as 1 by cos x. So, here this function f of x will be not defined, or it will be infinity if cos x is equal to 0. And we know this implies that x is equal to n plus 1, sorry, twice n plus 1 pi by 2, where n belongs to z. That means at these points of x, cos x is 0. So, in this case, this function to be continuous, to be defined, cosec x cannot be equal to 0. So, that means, and also we know that cos x here, cos x. So, sec x is inverse of cos x. So, here you see, if cos x, this function is equal to 0, cos x is equal to 0, then this function sec x is not defined, f of x is not defined here in this case. So, if cos x is equal to 0, then we know that x is equal to twice n plus 1 pi by 2, it is general solution. Okay. So, if you have studied the trigonometry chapter, then you must know this. We have already studied in class 11, isn't it? So, it should be known to you, I think. Yes. So, as you can see, cos x is always continuous in its domain, and hence sec x must be also continuous, as 1 is constant here. numerator is constant here. So, but as in this case cosec x should not be equal. So, and for those values of x is equal to twice n plus 1 pi by 2, cosec x is 0. That means other than only these points, this function sec x is continuous. So, therefore, we can write, therefore, so here you need here we can write, let me mention one more thing here. Since cos x is always continuous, in its domain, sorry, not on its domain, and hence the function sec x is also continuous on its domain r minus twice n plus 1 into pi by 2, where n belongs to z. So, that is how we can show the continuity of sec x or second function. So, hope you have understood this. So, now let me show you, let us check the continuity of cotangent function. This is the last function in this question. So, let me clear the page. So, let f of x is equal to cot x. Cot x means the cotangent function. So, which can be written as cos x by sin x. So, here you see this function f of x or cot x is not defined if here denominator is equal to 0, that means sin x is equal to 0, and this implies x is equal to n pi, where n belongs to z. Okay. Since cos x and sin x both are continuous, on the domain R, hence the function cot x is also continuous on the domain R minus n pi, where n belongs to z, because here n pi should be excluded from R, because at n pi x is equal to n pi, sin x is equal to 0. If sin x is equal to 0, f x will be not defined. That is why excluding this point n pi at all other points, this function is continuous. Let us solve question number 23. Find all the points of discontinuity. Find all the points of discontinuity of the function f, where f is defined as here this is you can see f of x is equal to sin x by x if x is less than 0, and it is equal to x plus 1, it is equal to x plus 1 if x is greater than or equal to 0. When x is less than 0, then f of x is given by sin x by x, and when it is greater than or equal to 0, when x is greater than or equal to 0, then f of x is given by x plus 1. So, here point of partition is 0. So, 0 is the only point x equal to 0 is the only point where discontinuity may take place. So let me check at this point here. So solution, so at x is equal to 0, so here f of 0 will be, so for x greater than and equal to 0 in both cases, we know f of x is given by x plus 1, so that's why here it will be 0 plus 1, that's equal to 1. Now let us take the left hand limit, limit x tends to 0 minus, which represents left hand limit. For left hand limit we have to take the expression for which x less than 0. Okay, so here f of x, that's going to be limit x tends to 0. For x tends to 0 we have got sin x by x. So we know this is an standard limit, we have already got this, we have already got that limit sin x by x when x tends to 0 is equal to 1. So use that one. Okay, it is a standard limit, so that's equal to 1. So now let us take the right hand limit here, limit x tends to 0 positive, this positive sign represents right hand limit f of x, and limit x tends to 0 positive, and for x greater than 0 we have x plus 1, so that's why here we will write x plus 1. So replace the x by 0, then you will get 0 plus 1, that's going to be equal to 1. So here we have got all these three values are equal, so we can say there is no point of discontinuity. So since left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to f of 0 at x is equal to 0, so f of x or the function f is continuous, function f is continuous. Therefore there is no point of discontinuity. There is no point of discontinuity. Hope you have understood. Now question number 24, determine if f defined by f of x is equal to x square into sine of 1 by x if x is not equal to 0. That means when x is greater than 0 and when x is less than 0, then f of x is given by this x square into sine of 1 by x, and when x is equal to 0, then f of x is 0. So is it continuous or not? Let us determine that. So solution, so let me write the given function f of x, and it's equal to x square sine of 1 by x if x is not equal to 0. That means either greater than 0 or less than 0, and it's equal to 0 when if x is equal to 0. So the point of partition is 0 here, x equal to 0. So that's why let me check the continuity at x equal to 0. So at x is equal to 0, so f of 0, so f of 0 here, this must be 0 as it is given in this question, f of x is equal to 0 when x is equal to 0. So that's why it must be 0. Now let us find limit x tends to 0 f of x. So if we find this, then here you see limit x tends to 0, here f of x is, so here you see here x tends to 0, x is not equal to 0, x tends to 0, that is why in that case, so f of x is given by x square into sine of 1 by x, here you see in the given question. So x square sine of 1 by x. We know the range of sine theta. Range of sine theta is -1 to +1. So that's why value of this must be lying between -1 to +1. Okay. So now you see, as x tends to 0, if you replace the x by 0 here, it is product of two functions, isn't it? So here you will get 0 into, and for this you will get a real number between this interval. Okay. Now here you can see you will get something between, so a number between -1 to +1. Okay, that's going to be equal to 0. So here you see, as we know, when limit of now a function f of x to be continuous at x is equal to c, limit x tends to c of f of x must be equal to f of c. So here you see, as we have checked its continuity at x is equal to 0. So at here f of 0 is 0, and limit x tends to 0, f of x is equal to, also we are getting here 0. So that is why we can say, since limit x tends to 0 of f of x is equal to f of 0, hence the function f is continuous. So that's why it is continuous. So hope you have understood this. Now examine the continuity of the function f, where f is defined as f of x is equal to sin x minus cos x when x is not equal to 0. That means when x is greater than or when x is less than 0, then this function, value of this function is given by this expression sin x minus cos x, and it's become equal to -1. It's become equal to -1. It becomes equal to -1 when x is equal to 0. When x is equal to 0. So this is supposed to be equal sign. Let me write it properly. Okay. So let me solve this one. So here point of partition is 0. So only possible point of discontinuity is 0. So that's why let me check at that point, is this continuous or not. F of x is equal to, let me write the given function first, sin x minus cos x when or if x is not equal to 0, and it is equal to -1 if x is equal to 0. So at x is equal to 0, f of 0 is equal to 0, sorry, not 0, here -1, it is given -1. F of when x is equal to 0, f of x is -1, that is why it must be -1. Now let me find the limit x tends to 0, f of x. So here, to be continuous at x is equal to 0, a function to be continuous at x is equal to c, we know that limit x tends to c, f of x must be equal to f of c. So let me check this function satisfy this condition or not, does it satisfy or not. So now here limit x tends to 0, here you see this is x tends to 0, not equal to 0, x tends to 0. That is why we have to take this expression sin x minus cos x, okay, sin x minus cos x, because when x is not equal to 0, when x is not equal to 0, the function f of x is given by this expression sin x minus cos x. So, here we will write sin x minus cos x. So, let us replace the x by 0, then what we will get? Sin 0 minus cos 0. So, we know sin 0 is 0, cos 0 1. So, 0 minus 1 is equal to minus 1. So, here you see it is clearly f of 0 is equal to minus 1 and limit of limit x tends to 0 f x, this is also equal to minus 1. So, as these two values are equal, so that is why we can say according to this condition, so we can say this function is continuous. So, here we have to write since limit x tends to 0 f of x is equal to f of 0, therefore, the given function is continuous. So, here you see from question number 26 to 29, we need to find the value of k, so that the function f is continuous at the point indicated point. So, here you see this is question number 26, this is f of x, and for this function we need to find the value of k such that this function f is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2. Here the point indicated is pi by 2, x is equal to pi by 2. So, here we will apply this condition, you know, a function suppose f of x, it is continuous at x is equal to c if limit x tends to c f of x is equal to f of c. So, we are going to apply this condition to solve this. So, let me solve. So, here is the given function, this is solution. So, what we can do? Let us evaluate this part, limit x tends to c f of x first. Okay. Let us evaluate this part. So, here instead of c, so what does c mean here? Here c is pi by 2, nothing but pi by 2. Okay. So, limit x tends to pi by 2 f of x, here f of x tends to pi by 2 does not mean that x is equal to pi by 2. Okay. X is approaching towards pi by 2, but x is not exactly equal to pi by 2, and when x is not equal to pi by 2, then the function f of x is given by k cos x by pi minus twice x. So, that is why. So, limit x tends to pi by 2 k cos x by pi minus twice x. So, as you can see, if you replace this x, these two x's, if you replace this x in the denominator by pi by 2, then this denominator becomes 0, because pi minus twice x instead of x, if you write pi by 2, 2 will be cancelled, pi minus pi it will be 0. So, it will be not defined as the denominators become 0. So, let us replace, let us put x is equal to pi by 2 plus h. So, here now we are putting x is equal to pi by 2 plus h. If you put this, then what will happen? Then x tends to pi by 2 when h tends to 0. That means, if this h becomes 0, then x will be equal to pi by 2. So, we can write limit x tends to pi by 2 f of x, this after putting x is equal to pi by 2 plus h, it will be limit h tends to 0 f of pi by 2 plus h, which is going to be equal to, now here you see this, replace this x by x is equal to pi by 2 plus h. Then doing so, what we will get? Limit h tends to 0 k cos pi by 2 plus h by pi by 2 minus 2 into pi by 2 plus h. So this is going to be, here you see cos of pi by 2 plus h, this is minus sin h, by, so here is pi minus twice h. So I hope you got the simplification here. So here we have applied the ASTC rule. So this is pi by 2 and pi by 2 plus h means this quadrant. This quadrant here cos is negative, so we have got here minus, okay, and as we have pi by 2 here, this is 90 only, or 1 into 90 or multiple of 90, that is why cos becomes sin. So here h tends to 0. So this will be limit minus k sin h by twice h tends to 0 here. So as you can see, I will show you one more thing, here it will be minus. So here minus minus cancel. So one more thing that you can see here, this k by 2, this is constant. So you can write here k by 2 limit h tends to 0 sin h by h, sin h by h. Now this is standard limit. So this is standard limit. So we have already got that limit x tends to 0 sin x by x is equal to nothing but 1. So we are going to use this result here. So that is why it will be k by 2 into 1, that is equal to k by 2. So here we have got k by 2. Now you see this function f to be continuous at this point at x is equal to pi by 2, it must satisfy this condition here given here. So we have already evaluated this part, left hand side part. So let us find f of c. Here c is pi by 2, isn't it? So f of pi by 2. So we have here you see it is already given f of x is equal to 3 when x is equal to pi by 2. So that is why, let me scroll down. Okay. So f of pi by 2 must be equal to 3 according to the given function, given condition, this must be equal to 3. So as we have got the value of this limit x tends to pi by 2 f of x, and we have got f of pi by 2. So here you can write, let me scroll down, since f is continuous at x is equal to pi by 2, hence or therefore you can write therefore limit, that means okay, let me write this, limit x tends to pi by 2 f of x must be equal to f of pi by 2, and which implies k by 2 is equal to 3. So we have already got these two values, isn't it? This one is equal to k by 2 and this one is equal to 3. So using those values here, now we can evaluate k, isn't it? K is equal to 6. So this is our required answer. So now let us move on to question number. So here the function, given function f of x is equal to kx square when x is less than or equal to 2, when x is less than or equal to 2, and it is equal to 3, f of x is equal to 3 when x is greater than 2. So we need to find the value of k, this k at x is equal to 2, this function is continuous. So again we are going to apply the same condition that is applied in the first one, question number 1, that is what, the function f is continuous, it is continuous if limit it is continuous at x is equal to c if limit x tends to c of f of x is equal to f of c, isn't it? So let us apply this condition here again. So at x is equal to 2, this f of 2, that is going to be equal to, so for equal to 2, it is already given that for x less than or equal to 2, in both cases f of x is given by k x square. So that's why it's going to be k into 2 square, that's going to be equal to 4k. So now limit x tends to 2, x tends to 2, f of x. So x tends to 2 does not mean x is equal to 2, it may be greater than 2 or less than 2, but it is close to 2. So in that case, here you see, for greater than and less than, we are getting two different values here, two different expressions here with two different results. But in the previous one we have got it was given only x equal for x not equal to something, that means that condition was for both greater and lesser. Here for x less than 2 we have got different expression, and for x greater than 2 we have got different value here. So that's why we are going to find the left hand and right hand limit differently. Okay, different cases here. So let us write left hand limit here, left hand limit. So this, so x tends to 2 negative means left hand limit, it is tending towards 2 from the left hand side, okay, from the numbers which are smaller than 2. So in that case, for less than 2 we have got f of x is equal to x less k x square, isn't it? So we have got k x square. So that's why it will be limit k x square when x tends to 2 negative. So that's going to be k into 2 square, that is equal to 4k. So let me write here, let me equal to 4k, and let us find our right hand limit. Limit x tends to 2 positive f of x. So your limit for x greater than 2, for the right hand limit it must be 3, isn't it? So limit 3, x tends to 2 positive, that's going to be equal to 3. So here you see, to be continuous, the function to be continuous, left hand limit and right hand limit must be equal. Okay, since f is continuous at x is equal to 2, therefore here in this case left hand limit must be equal to right hand limit, which implies 4k is equal to 3, which implies k is equal to 3 by 4. So that's how. So in question number 28, now here you see, let me solve this one also. So we need to find a value of k here such that this function f is continuous at x is equal to pi. So here also, as we have got for x less than pi and x greater than pi two different expressions, two different values. So that's why we have to find again left hand and right hand limit. Not here we are not going to find a directly limit. Okay. So at x is equal to pi, so f of pi, so for x less than or equal to pi, so we have k x plus 1, isn't it? So that's why it will be k into pi plus 1, that is k pi plus 1, that's it. Okay. Now left hand limit, limit x tends to pi negative, x tends to pi negative f of x, that's going to be equal to, for less than pi again it is k x plus 1. So that's why what we will get, limit k x plus 1, x tends to pi negative. Now replace the x by pi, then you will get k pi plus 1, k pi plus 1. Okay. So right hand limit, limit x tends to pi positive, so f of x, so for greater value x greater than pi, we have got cos pi x here. So limit x tends to pi positive cos x, so replace the x by pi, then you will get, so let me write this pi properly, pi positive. So then you will get cos pi, and cos pi is nothing but this is nothing but minus 1. Yes, so it is minus 1. We know the value of cos pi, isn't it? So therefore, you see this function f is continuous at x is equal to pi. Therefore left hand limit must be equal to right hand limit. Not only these two, also it must be equal to actually f of pi. So we don't need this part here in this case. So just write left hand limit and right hand limit here. So that's enough. K pi plus 1 is equal to minus 1. That's why it's going to be equal to k pi minus 1 which is equal to minus 2. So pi k is equal to minus 2 by pi. So that's our answer. So that's how we can solve question number 28. Similarly, we can solve 29 as well. So here, let me write the solution here. This is the solution. So the function, this is f of x is equal to kx plus 1, x is less than equal to 5 in both cases when x is less than and equal to 5. So at x is equal to 5, we will get f of phi will equal to k into 5 plus 1. That means you can write 5 k plus 1. So if you find the left hand limit here, limit x tends to 5 minus, so then f of x, this is going to be equal to limit x tends to 5 minus x tending towards 5 from left hand side. So we will take this expression kx plus 1 here. So limit kx plus 1. So replace the x by 5, then it will be again 5k plus 1. Now take the right hand limit. Limit x tends to 5 positive f of x. So limit, now it is approaching towards 5 from the right hand side, x tends to 5 positive. So now we are going to take this expression here. You can see thrice x minus 5 for x greater than 5. Okay, so hope you have understood this. Very simple, not so hard. Thrice x minus 5. So replacing x by 5, then you will get 3 into 5 minus 5, that's going to be equal to 10, I think. Yes, 10. Okay, now here you see, since f is continuous at x is equal to 5, so we need to find a value of k. In this case, we need to find a value of k so that f is continuous at x is equal to 5. Yes, so that's why here left hand limit and right hand limit at this point must be equal. So that's why 5k plus 1 must be equal to 10, isn't it? So 5k plus 1 is equal to 10, which implies 5k is equal to 10 minus 1. So k will be equal to 9 by 5. So that is the answer. That's how we can solve. It's very simple. So now question number 30. Here we need to find a and b. Find the value of a and b such that the function defined by f of x is equal to 5 if x is less than or equal to 2, and it's equal to ax plus b if x is greater than 2, less than 10, and it's 21 when x is greater than equal to 10. Okay, is continuous, is a continuous function. So to be continuous, so what should be the value of a and b? Those values should be found out here. So let me show you how to solve this one. Let me write the solution right here. Okay, because in the solution we always need to mention the given function here. So instead of writing twice, I have written here. So what are the points of partition here? 2 and 10. So at x is equal to 2, here it will be f of 2 is equal to 4 less than and equal to the given function is nothing but 5, isn't it? It is 5. So here we can write 5. So left hand limit is equal to limit x tends to 2 minus f of x for less than 2, it is 5. So, limit 5 x tends to negative, so it will be 5. So, right hand limit means x approaches to 2 from right hand side, that means from those values which are greater than 2, close to 2 but not equal to 2. So, x 2 positive f of x limit of, and for greater than 2 we have the expression here ax plus b, isn't it, ax plus b. Now, let us use this x. So, replace the x by 2 here, then you will get twice a plus b, twice a plus b. So, to be continuous at 5 at x is equal to 2. So, these two values must be equal, left hand limit and right hand limit. Since f is continuous at x is equal to 2, so left hand limit is equal to right hand limit, which implies twice a plus b must be equal to 5. This is suppose equation number 1. This is equation number 1. So, let me scroll down a little bit. Now, at x is equal to 10, at x is equal to 10, f of 10 will be equal to, for greater than and equal to 10, it is 21, it is already given 21. So, that is why it is going to be 21. And now, let us find the left hand limit here. Again, limit x tends to 10 negative for x less than 10, for x less than 10, this is a x plus b, f of x is a x plus b. So, here we are going to use this expression limit x tends to 10 negative a x plus b. So, replace the x by 10, then 10 a plus b we will get. So, let me scroll down. Okay, again let us find the right hand limit. So, that is going to be limit f of x, x tends to 10 positive for x, let me show you the function here. Again you see, for x greater than 10, for x greater than 10, f of x is 21. So, that is why here you will get limit 21 when x tends to 10 positive, that is going to be equal to 21. Now, here you see, since f is continuous at x is equal to 10, so left hand limit must be equal to right hand limit, which implies these two equal. That means 10 a plus b equal to 21. This is equation number 2. Now, let us solve these two equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2. So, it is very simple, you know how to solve linear equations. So, just solve it, equation number 1 minus equation number 2, then you will get here twice a plus b minus 10 a minus b is equal to 5 minus 21. That is going to imply here minus 8 a as b be gone, minus b plus b gone, and this is minus 16 minus 16, yes. So, a going to be equal to 2. If you cancel these two by both side by 8, then here you will get 2, isn't it. So, hope you have understood this. So, we have got the value of a, that is equal to 2. So, we have got a. Now, let us put this value of a, let us put the value of a in any one of these two equations. So, let me scroll down. So, putting a is equal to 2 in equation number 1. So, let us put in equation number 1. If you replace this a, if you see the equation number 1. So, if you replace this a, then you will get here 2 into a is equal to 2 again plus b is equal to 5. So that's going to imply b is equal to, sorry, here let me write here, 2 to the 4 plus b is equal to 5. So that means b is equal to 5 minus 4, that's going to be equal to 1. So this is the value of b. So we have got a equal to 2, therefore a is equal to 2 and b is equal to 1. So these are the required values. So hope you have understood. Now let's move on to next question. Now let me show you how to solve 31. So here, so that the function defined by f of x is equal to cos of x square is continuous function. So here cos of x square is function of function, composite function. Okay. So let us write the given function first. So solution, f of x is equal to cos of x square. So it is a composite function. So there are two functions you can assume, one is cos x, another is x square. Taking x square as x, we know cos x is always continuous function. Cos x is always continuous on its domain. Okay, on its domain. And also x square is here you see, and x square is polynomial function. It is a polynomial function. So x square is also a continuous function as it is polynomial function. So it is a it is also continuous function. Now you see, as the function, given function is composite function of two continuous functions, since we remember one more thing, composite function of, so let me add, composite function of two continuous functions, is also continuous. So we can say the function f is also continuous, since f is a function of two continuous function, cos x and x square. So f is also, hence f is also continuous. That's how we can solve. So now let me explain how to solve 32. So here you see, this function f of x is mod of cos x is continuous function. We need to show it is continuous function. So it is also a composite function. This is here you see there are two functions. One is mod of cos x means, so if you consider this one as x, cos instead of cos of x you consider as x, then you will get mod of x, and it is also, it is always continuous, and cos x is also always continuous. So since f of x is always is a composite function, it is a composite function of two continuous function, hence f is continuous. So that's how you can solve. So it's similar to 31. So hope you can solve it by yourself. So 33 also similar to 31 and 32. So here the function is sine of mod x. Okay, so we need to show it is continuous. Now if you assume the mod of x as sine x, okay, another function is mod x, then sine x is always it is always, so let me write here, always continuous on its domain. And mod of x is always continuous on its domain. So this function, so if you have to write in the solution function like this, f of x is equal to sine of mod of x. Okay, sine of mod of x. So f is a composite function of two continuous function, so f is continuous. Sorry, let me write f here. F is continuous. It's simple as that. So let's move on to next. So here you see 34. So find all the points of discontinuity. We know modulus functions are always continuous. Okay. So this is also one modulus function, this is also another modulus function. So both of these two must be continuous, and we know if two functions are continuous, f of x, g of x, then their sum or difference is also continuous. Okay. So here you see, so let me solve this one. So we know that every modulus function is continuous. For all x belongs to R. Therefore, mod of x minus mod of x and mod of x plus s both are continuous for all x belongs to R. Therefore, this given function is different, is the difference of these two functions. So that's why that will be also continuous. Therefore, f is also continuous. So that, I hope this video is helpful for you. If it is, then please like my videos and share those videos of my channel with your friends, and thank you for watching. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe it. So thank you.